Good afternoon and welcome to the news at this hour on NTA Lagos Channel 10. I am Olanike Olabodi. Thanks for joining us. The Federal Executive Council has approved the establishment of a drafting committee for a 5-year strategic defense plan towards a sustainable solution to the security challenges in Nigeria. This was one of the major outcomes of the Council's meeting on Wednesday. State House correspondent Musbau Dan Wahab has details of this and more resolutions of the meeting.
The Council for the year came up to be one of the longest, with about 50 memoranda considered by members. So too are the outcomes. Apparently, the Bola Tinubu's administration is taking its action a step at a time in checking insecurity in the country, as strategic as they come. In this latest phase in the series is the Council's approval for the establishment of a committee to draft a 5-year strategic defense plan for the nation.
The essence of this is to look at our overall national threat assessment. We'll also look at the principal framework for the establishment of military and defense cooperation for Nigeria. Now, this is all part of the robust plan that Mr. President has to ensure that the security of lives and property for Nigerians is further guaranteed.
Members of the committee, which include the defense ministers, security chiefs, have 90 days to submit their drafts. Similarly, the government continues with its plan for men and women of the armed forces with additional provision of housing as part of the 5-year 10,000 units of housing promised to them.
Direct purchase of 600 units of 4-bedroom terrace duplexes at Bristol City Development Live Camp Abuja for the armed forces.
The priority of the administration on education was a boost for sustainable funding, as President Tinubu directed, as endorsed by the Council, that all fully recovered looted funds by the EFCC be channeled towards funding the student loan scheme through NEL Fund.
The President also directed, and this was also approved by FEC, that all unclaimed dividends from the Capital Market Trust Fund and the Dormant Account Trust Fund, those unclaimed dividends should also be directed to NER Fund, so that NER Fund will be financially buoyant to meet its growing obligations.
Also, in education, the Council approved about 156 billion naira as augmentation to complete the National Library project, which has dragged for more than 18 years. This is in addition to the 25 billion naira already raised by the First Lady Oluremi Tinubu. And still on the purported Presidential Foreign Intervention Promotion Council, confirmed as fake by the ICPC, the government is going a step further, as the Council directed forensic investigation to prevent future reoccurrence.
Mr. President directed that review should extend to the integrated personnel and payroll information system that we call IPPIS. Because if you have fake agencies, you most likely have fake employees. What is important is to establish what went wrong, how it can be prevented, and going forward, how we can make our systems stronger.
The FEC also approved signing of treaties on avoidance of double taxation to enhance trade relations with Ghana, Tanzania, and Switzerland, respectively. In the 7 memos of the Ministry of Works, the Council approved the construction of 4 roads, including the east-west section of the Port Harcourt on a port, as well as concessioning of trailer parks in parts of the country.
The essence of these trailer parks is to ensure that we move those trailers from our roads, from our highways, to give them a befitting site that they will be able to park their trailers, and it's going to be design, build, operate, and transfer with no kobo from the federal government.
In health, the council approved award of contracts to modernize some departments of the National Hospital, Abuja, as well as construction of modular clinic and theaters in the hospital. In some cases in the country, some Nigerians have been tried for attempting suicide based on the existing laws which criminalize the act. But this administration is taking steps towards decriminalizing attempted suicide,
which treat individuals experiencing psychological distress as offenders rather than persons in need of care and support. This legal approach discourages help-seeking behaviors and also conflicts with our National Mental Health Act 2021, which provides for supportive care, protection and treatment for individuals at risk of self-harm.
The council honored late Abubakar Alhaji, who served as Minister of Finance under the Ibrahim Babangida administration and former Minister of Science and Technology in the Olusegun Obasanjo's administration, Professor Turner Isol. Both passed away last month.
May the souls.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has appointed Abel Olumuyiwa Enitan as the head of the Civil Service of the Federation, effective August 27, 2026. He succeeds D.D. Esther Wilson Jack, who will retire from the Federal Civil Service upon attaining the statutory retirement age of 60. In a statement signed by the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, Abel Olumuyiwa Enitan is said to have served as Permanent Secretary for 7 years and 7 months, working at the Ministry of Police Affairs, the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, and the Office of the Vice President. He is currently the Permanent Secretary in the Federal Ministry of Education. He brings considerable institutional experience and a deep understanding of the workings of the Federal Civil Service to his new responsibility. President Bola Tinubu has charged the incoming head of the Civil Service of the Federation to consolidate the reforms and innovations already underway to deepen professionalism and efficiency across the service and build a more effective and responsive civil service capable of delivering on the administration's renewed hope agenda. He is also expected to lead a civil service that is professional, merit-driven, accountable, innovative, and responsive to the needs and aspirations of Nigerians. President Tinubu expressed his profound appreciation to Wilson Jack for distinguished service to the nation and for the reforms, impact, and innovations witnessed in the civil service during her tenure. The President wished her a fulfilling and successful life after service and conveyed the nation's gratitude for her years of dedicated and impactful public service. Abel Olumuyiwa Enitan was born on December 12, 1966. He obtained an MSc in Public Policy Analysis from Nasarawa State University, Lafia, in 2015 and hails from Osun State. He is currently the most senior permanent secretary in the Federal Civil Service. We'll go on a short break now. More reports when we return. Please stay with us. Thanks for staying with us. Another 83 Nigerians have returned home from South Africa. The return comes amid concerns over anti-foreigner protests in that country in recent months. A statement from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs says the returnees arrived at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos aboard a South African Airways flight from Johannesburg. The ministry clarified that they were accompanied by 2 officials from the Consulate General of Nigeria in Johannesburg. Receiving them on behalf of the federal government was the Director of the African Affairs Department, Ambassador Aruna Ali Gombe. The ministry noted that the repatriation was made possible through flight tickets sponsored by kind-hearted private individuals. After documentation and profiling by relevant government agencies, the returnees will be reunited with their families. The statement concluded with the federal government reaffirming its commitment to the welfare and safe return of all Nigerians abroad, and expressed appreciation to the Nigerian mission in South Africa, the sponsors, and all agencies involved. In another development, Lagos House of Assembly is set to reorder priorities in the 2026 budget, tagged Budget of Shared Prosperity, on the request of the State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu. The executive request was contained in a correspondence sent to the House and read by the clerk during plenary on the floor of the Assembly in Lagos. Musa Toliet completes the report.
It was another day of plenary, and a correspondence from the governor gained prominence on the other paper of the Assembly. A duty call for the clerk to read the message from the governor on the floor of the House of Assembly was activated.
We are constrained by the fact that there are no new revenue sources for the remaining months of the year, hence the need for a reordering of your 2026 budget.
Having understood the priorities and rationale behind the proposed budget reordering, lawmakers took on to debate the request by the governor.
Like it is said by Mr. Governor in their request, that they've done 69% of this budget and that there is need for us to reorder priority. Also, I want to refer to the request made earlier by the governor on the bond, where members actually observed that the 200 bond requested was not considered in this year's budget. I'm sure this will be an opportunity for it to be corrected accordingly.
Some lawmakers want more funds to be reallocated towards completion of ongoing projects based on their scope and level of execution.
The way the appropriation law is, even if the project is doing 2%, you cannot move the money without this house to another project. So that project will be lost and funding will be lost. So what I've said here is that such that the monies can be moved to performing projects, even though we don't know why those other ones are not performing yet, that the money for that year should be moved to projects that are performing. That is good because every project in the project matters.
To make sure that what this reordering is targeted on is to be able to bring more visible projects to all our constituency, for us to be able to campaign with confidence and with fact and figure and with physical structure that Lagosian will be able to rally our party and also to support us in this coming general election.
The need to focus greater attention on ecological challenges and interventions to improve quality of life of residents was also raised.
I also want them to put environment into consideration, most especially that has to do with how our environment is, that has to do with normal and also some drainages, so that you'll be able to checkmate the issue of flooding that we are having.
Speaker Mudashiru Obasa said it is not out of place for a governor to seek reordering of the budget, but having recourse to the responsibility of the legislature to effect the request on the appropriation law is commendable.
The 2026 budget by the governor is hereby committed to the Committee on Economic Planning and Budget and to report back on the 31st of August 2026.
He also committed a request by the governor seeking confirmation of some nominees to relevant committee of the House. In Lagos, Musa Toliat, NTA News.
We've come to the end of the 1 p.m. news today. Thank you for choosing NTA Lagos Channel 10. I am Olanike Olabodi. Have a good afternoon.